vitamins, hot tea, and resting in bed instead of improving your climbing skills. Forced breaks like this are for some of us a harsh reality of the colder months, and I was reminded of that the hard way by catching my first cold of the season. As it often happens, it came right after a few stressful weeks. I had been feeling under pressure lately, and I had a strong feeling it would catch up with me. And well, it did. I hadn't even had the time to climb lately with everything going on. When I finally found a free evening for a session, I had to stay home because I started feeling tired and sick. By then, it had already been 8 days since my last session, and I really wasn't thrilled about having to take an even longer break. I really felt the itch to climb. I even dreamed about it while I was sick. In one dream, the climbing gym had a lake inside. I kept forgetting things in the car, my shoes, my chalk bag, and found myself running back and forth. I was desperate to finish a project, but somehow I found myself going for a swim instead. In another dream, there was a brand new outdoor section, full of fresh challenges. I felt nervous, knowing I hadn't even finished the previous set. Then it started to rain and I couldn't climb it anyway. It was also frustrating, I had to go climbing, if only for the sake of my mental health. Luckily, the cold passed pretty quickly, and as soon as I felt kind of okay, I went climbing again. I had to start slow, since I still wasn't feeling 100% okay. Just to be clear, I don't want to encourage anyone to climb while sick. You shouldn't push your body when you are feeling unwell. Normally, I stay home until I feel completely fine, but this time I knew it wasn't anything serious. The only symptoms I had were a runny nose, a headache, and a bit of a sore throat. But I didn't have a fever at any point. That morning, I actually woke up feeling fairly energized and motivated. To start off gently, I did a slower and extended warm-up. Still, I could definitely feel the difference. My balance was noticeably worse, and I got a bit out of breath. Even though I wasn't doing anything high effort, my heart rate went up really fast. And honestly, that makes sense after being inactive for days. At the end of the warm-up, I sat on the floor for a moment, just focusing on how my body felt, checking in to see if it needed more rest. Also, don't forget to bring water or tea and tissues to your first session after being sick. You'll thank yourself later. I decided to ease back in gently, starting with some easier grades in the kids section of the gym. There were only a few people around, which was perfect. And there were also new routes I hadn't tried yet. I was so excited just to be back at the climbing gym. To be fair, I would have been happy just standing there, soaking up the atmosphere. Way better than sitting at home, staring at the same boring, holdless wall. Anyway, I started with a 5A, then a 5C, and moved on to a 6A. Maybe I just wasn't back in full climbing shape yet, or maybe it was just a harder 6A, but it definitely took me a while to get through. To wake up both my brain and my muscles, I also climbed all the routes up and then back down the same way. And this is the moment where my plan to stick to easy climbs completely fell apart. I spotted a nice looking 6B. It looked way too inviting to ignore. I'm actually working on a video where I try to climb all the 6Cs at Hangar, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to try to start and maybe plan out some moves. Just a quick preview, right? Well, it ended up with 2 tries, and on the third one I sent it. Here I'm checking if I'm missing a hold or if I should use the structure. Without it, it felt like an overkill. I ended up using it since there wasn't a sign saying not to. So I think it was allowed. The top section was fairly easy. I tried going up with my left foot, but that was a stupid idea and I had to switch feet. Again, I hadn't fully read the route in advance, which is definitely something I need to work on. After this, it was pretty effortless. I just held the gas turn, pressed with my left foot and stood up. To slow things down a bit, I chose this 6B. I even made a reel about it on Instagram, where I shared how grateful I am to be able to climb and do all kinds of sports in general. I'm not kidding when I say I truly appreciated every move my body made. Every hand placement, every step felt great. And the top of this climb was really satisfying too. Still feeling better than I expected, I decided to try another 6C that looked doable and not too exhausting. It was more on the crimpy side and also tested my shoulder mobility and leg flexibility a bit. Here I switched hands, brought my left foot up and pushed with my right hand. Then I pulled myself using both hands on a crimp. The next holds look more like foot holds, but they actually helped. I definitely couldn't have held on using just the structure. I placed my right foot further and then came the scary move. I had to lean to the right and hang off my hands. I honestly didn't believe they wouldn't slip. I had to convince myself to stay on the route, especially since I was so close to flashing it. And surprisingly, it felt like a pretty stable position. From there, it was just a stretch to the top. When I finally did it, I was shaking a bit, but that kind of tension often makes climb more fun. Right next to it, there was another 6C, a Dyno, which is definitely my weak spot. I was still feeling good and I hadn't even been climbing for an hour yet, so I figured I would see if my streak of successful 6C sends would continue. But this time, luck, or rather skill, wasn't on my side. I couldn't stick the move and fell countless times. To break up the frustration of failing on the dynamic 6C, I did an easier 6A in between. That helped me reset a bit. Then I gave the Dyno a few more tries, still nothing. I did one fun exercise on white 5B, climbing it one-handed. That kind of challenge teaches me to commit more to slightly dynamic moves, because with only one hand, I really have to trust the movement and go for the hold quickly and confidently. It's actually a great way to push yourself and build coordination. Definitely worth trying. The next 6C was a blue route, more of a slab, which was actually nice as a bit of a rest for my arms. I flashed it, though at first I wasn't sure if I was allowed to use the structure again. After topping it, I checked twice if there wasn't a sign saying it was off limits. Honestly, without the structure it would have been complicated, as I needed it again later in the route, but with it the climb felt too easy. Again, I was kind of lost. I really shouldn't be skipping proper route reading. I ended up switching feet, pressed against the structure with my left hand, and pulled myself up. Near the end, I skipped the last foothold, just balanced and reached straight for the top, which worked out fine. I guess it helps that I'm taller than the kids the route was probably set for. Right next to it was a black 6B, and it really caught me off guard. I honestly have no idea what I was even trying there. It was kind of a mess, but at least I found it funny while I was climbing. The next 6B in the set was this blue one, and I saw more than one climber fall on it while I was there. I have to say, I really liked it too. I enjoy climbs where you have to shift your weight on one leg and stand up. There was also a nice move where I had to turn my body sideways to the wall and pull myself up. That kind of movement always feels good. And that was it. To wrap things up, I climbed one more 6A route just to cool down. As this was my first climb after being sick, I'm really happy with how it went. If you are watching this while recovering from an illness yourself, just a little reminder. It's totally normal if your first session back doesn't feel great. I went in with that mindset. I wasn't expecting any performance, I just wanted to move, see how it feels, and enjoy the process. And in the end, it turned out to be a really good session. My body handled it well, I didn't overdo it, and most importantly, I didn't get sick again. So if you are in the same boat, take it easy, listen to your body, and be kind to yourself. The strength will come back. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.